another edition of News from the Other Side. And as I promised you to interview teachers from almost all of their popular sponsoring agencies that you know. Today, I have with me another teacher from Faces who is going to share his experience with my general viewers across Africa. So take your pen and paper. If you have any question that you have in mind, you can just share it in the comment section. Then I'll quickly answer for you. So the first question we're going to talk about is I'm going to allow my guest to introduce himself and his past life in his home country. I don't know whether he's from Ghana, from Nigeria, Tanzania, or Kenya. He's going to do that himself. So I'll leave the ball to Mr. Emmanuel. I call him Emmanuel. So he's going to mention his full name and any other life aspect that he wants us to know as he was in his home country before landing in the US. You are welcome, Mr. Emmanuel. So
All right,
kindly.
thank you, brother. Yeah, as you said, my name is Emmanuel. My surname is Sampini. Yeah,
Okay.
I'm from Achamachiansi. I taught in Alpha Beta. You know, Alpha Beta is in Dansuman, Accra.
Okay.
And yeah, that's a private school. Then later I had an appointment in the government sector. So I moved to Dioku. That is in the eastern region. So let's say that is where I started the government sector job. And then from there, I was moved to Achamachiansi. If you've heard of the jungle warfare, that is where Achiansi is, yeah, close to Oda. And then that is where I applied to Faces and I got picked. So let's go to my educational background. I completed University of Education Winneba with a degree in early childhood education.
Okay.
Yeah. So I didn't go to any cafe to apply to Faces. I applied on my phone, you know. I used my phone. So lately people ask you how you apply. Do we go to cafe? And I will tell them, you have an Android phone, you have an iPhone, just put it on, get any agency. There are thousands, now there are thousands of agencies. I just heard of
a lot of
IT
them.
so, and then I applied to Faces and, you know, they were kind. Yeah, and they started my process. That is where everything started from.
Okay. So how long did you teach in Ghana?
I taught in Ghana for 7 years. That is where I said I moved from Alpha Beta to Joko. Yeah.
Okay.
So let's say
So
7 years.
So looking at your qualification, it means you're teaching elementary grade over here, right?
Yes, I am teaching elementary.
Okay. Now, what states are you currently teaching? Which
I am
state
now
are
in,
you?
yeah, I'm in South Carolina, United
Okay.
States. Yeah.
And which grade are you teaching at the moment? Do you teach from grade 1 to 5, or you have a specific stream that you teach?
I teach fourth grade. I teach
Fourth
fourth
grade.
grade and yeah, fourth grade. Initially, when I came, they gave me ELA, math, science, social. Then later they saw that yeah, the guy is good in math, so they gave me math to teach last year, and this year I'm also teaching math and science. Yeah, in fourth grade. They've not moved my grade yet.
Yeah. Okay. What I knew back in Ghana is an elementary teacher teaches a lot of subjects in each grade. So it means you have been restricted to one subject over here, right?
Yeah, math, and they've added science.
Science. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. But I believe so far it's been good, right?
Oh, you know, so far so good. You know, any help you want, you get it. So far as you can ask, if you ask for help, you get any help. You know, since here they have the gadgets, they have everything. Everything is in place. So and you can talk of their Wi-Fi service where if you're in need of anything, any research, you want to search of any teaching method, you can just go YouTube and get more stuff. So far so good.
Okay, great. And how did you hear of the cultural exchange program? Not of Faces. How did you hear about the program? Did you read about it in the dailies? Did you search on the internet? Did anybody refer to you or something? How do you hear of the cultural exchange program?
Okay, I have a friend in another state who told me about this program. He even came with a different thing. He came with an H-1B visa, and he
Wow.
told me a friend is in this cultural exchange program, so I should try. So he gave me faces, and he told me the friend has finished his like 3 years or 5 years, so he has moved to the Canada. Yeah, he has
Okay.
moved to Canada. So if I want, I can also apply and come. It's just 3 years and 2 years extension if the district wants to extend. And I said, oh, let me try. So I just used my phone. I think I used the phone, and even where I was, the network wasn't good in Kyoku. So I just applied. So that is how somebody introduced the culture exchange to me. He explained it. His name is Abuasu David.
And is he currently teaching in the US?
Yes, he is teaching, let's say teaching, because he's in the special education field
Okay.
in a different state. Yeah.
Great. Great. And you said he came with an H-1B
Yeah.
visa
It,
category.
yeah. Came with
I
that.
I think you should link me up to him because I need people like him. Many people think there are fewer people that came with the H-1B, so I'll definitely need an interview with him to
Yeah.
let
I will.
the general public know about that as well and the processes involved.
Yeah.
Okay, so what were the requirements for phases?
For faces, I think they just needed the degree certificate.
Mhm.
And first, Cindy, the lady who was in charge was Cindy.
Okay,
And later she gave me to Golly, the evaluator. So
okay,
Golly evaluates my certificate and told me I do not have reading requirements. The required reading credits to teach elementary. So if I can explain how I can teach the coding skills and and syllables, how we can break words into chunks. So all those things, I just Googled them. I Googled, edited, and sent it. That's the truth. I sent it, even though you don't know better than Google. I sent it, and that was it. He approved. And then, when we were applying,
mhm.
they will approve our set before we do the course by course evaluation.
Okay.
Yeah, just recently somebody told me they want you to do the course by course before you apply, but I don't know. But when we're applying, Goli or the faces evaluator will evaluate your certificate, then he will tell you to apply for course by course. So that is basically what happened.
Okay.
And
I think the keyword evaluation may sound very cumbersome to people. What is evaluation? What is credential evaluation? I know any viewer who has been following me for quite a while now knows what it, but I want you to explain what the credential, you said course by course evaluation
yeah,
is. What is
yeah.
it?
So course by course credential evaluation is you giving your Ghanaian certificate,
Mhm.
your degree, your master's, your PhD to an accredited institution in the United States to evaluate your transcript course by course.
Okay,
Yes, to approve it to the standard of United States.
good.
So they will just tell you your certificates can teach elementary, your certificate can teach high school, middle school math here. So that's it basically
All
how.
right. So I think I'm going to add just some few points to what Mr. Sampany said. When it comes to the US, if you want to teach, the minimum requirement is even not a master's degree, it's a bachelor's degree. So I know people who have only master's degree in education, but they didn't do any bachelor's degree in education, who weren't hired or recruited. So this is what happens. If you've been to a training college for 3 years, that is not a degree yet, it's a diploma. And you go on to get a 2 years degree top up, it's equal to a 4 year bachelor's degree, which is the basic minimum requirements for teaching in the US. So that is it. And about the evaluation, as you said, it's a way of weighing your credentials in your home country, your credential in Nigeria, Tanzania, Uganda alongside the US equivalency. So let's say you pronounce you went to Kane University for 4 years. We want to know in the US that is that your 4 year degree also equivalent or equal to that of the 4 years in the US? That's basically what he said, the course by course. And course by course in detail is they are going to analyze each educational course component that you made. If you did teaching methodologies, we have to see that in your credentials. If you did special education, educational psychology, educational technology, and all that, they're going to assess all the courses as you did. And they have this minimum uh, credit that they expect. It should be over 135 credit hours on your certificate to get the 4 year bachelor's degree. I don't know if you agree with me on that or you
Yeah,
have something else to add.
that's
Yeah.
true. That's true. That's well explained. Yeah.
So that is it. Now to our next question: why did you decide to come on this program? I've
Uh,
interviewed people who said they were much interested in the money that they heard teachers are being paid in the US. What actually motivated you to come to the US?
so one, to share my culture.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say I was a local champion. So yeah, I needed to explore more.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, to share my teaching experience outside the country and learn more to know if I am an international champion or just a local champion. Yeah. So and more to that, I had some issues way back in my school. There were some
Mm-hmm.
issues way back in my, the government side I went to. To tell you the truth, my then headmaster was taking these JHS and JHS 3, JHS 1 and 2 case to his pie rubber farm. And I was the only teacher who stood in and said, no, I will not agree. So yeah, it was a very big issue. And lo and behold, I was queried at a district office for
Mm-hmm.
standing in and stopping the headmaster from even one day. He took one of them to the farm and got bitten by a snake.
Wow.
Oh yeah, it's a serious issue, to tell you this, serious issue. So I stood in and said, no, I want to agree. And they queried me at this. Everybody was on me. I had to come and apologize. That's what they told me, to come and apologize. Then, they do the, what do you call this, validation before your salary
Mm-hmm.
comes. So they moved me because of that issue. They moved me to Achiase town. And when they moved me, he was still the one who was supposed to do the
The
validation.
validation for you.
He didn't do it. So if they don't do that validation, that means your salary won't come. So my
Wow.
salary ceased for 5 months, the whole 5 months. So that gingered me. You can ask Cindy. Cindy, the faces director, I was always texting her. I was always emailing her. Yeah, so she knew me. Even now, she knows me that this is Emmanuel. I was texting her. So that gingered me to just
No.
move out of Ghana Education Service, or just move out of where I was. And lo and behold, it was in. And so I moved. The day my 2 week salary came, it was more than the 5 month salary, which oh yeah, yeah. That is, it came the same time. It came at the same time. My 2 week salary came, and I think the next 3 days, the 5 month salary also came when I was in the United States, and my 2 week salary was more than the 5 month salary. So
Wow. 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 I
that
think
is it.
I think something should happen to the tortoise to for him to leave his shell. So everybody has a motive for moving up to the states, and mine was quite not so. Mine was quite vague because I didn't have one thing that actually motivated me to come. I remember I also had a similar issue back in my high school, in where I taught, Antwerp High School, Antwerp SHS, and we had a staff meeting where some issue was really going on. We had some issue going on the campus, and nobody was able to voice out. So I stood out at the staff common room, and I really put my mind out there. And I knew after that incident, I was also going to be castigated upon or be punished in some way. And lo and behold, a month after that, I also got a job offer and I left. So that incident couldn't also put its grips on me.
Yeah.
So that was one of the things that actually motivated me to, move from my country. Okay. All right. So to the next one, it says, uh, now, what is your sponsor or who is your sponsor?
Okay. Faces is my sponsor.
Faces.
Yeah.
Okay. And where are they located? Are they in South Carolina or North
Yeah.
Carolina?
They're in South Carolina, I think Columbia. Yeah. They're in
Okay,
Columbia.
good, good. And you mentioned of the credential evaluation and you've mentioned the bachelor's degree. What other requirements do Faces request?
Faces, if I will recall, I think they will just take your from bachelor's degree to the PhD, and
Okay.
then they will ask of your spouse.
Mm-hmm.
And now, if you have a child, if you have a child less than 4 years, they will cancel your application.
Wow. You
Yeah. So
know, I never knew that rule. So when I applied to Faces, they were just urging me on bring this, bring that. I was able to provide everything.
yeah,
And now the next feedback that I had when they vetted my documents, they said, unfortunately, my younger kid or my younger child is less than 5 years, and childcare in the US is expensive, so they are sorry to deny me. I never knew that, but of late, people through these interviews and this initiative that we are doing right now,
yeah.
people are being wise now, and they don't put in their
Oh yeah,
their their youngest children that are below the ages of 5 years, and
yeah,
it's really helping. It's really
yeah,
helping. And I know time on Faces will also come to understand that back in Africa, we don't actually move our kids once and for all. Like if I move here, I don't come with my children at once.
yeah,
So if the person is less than 4 years, less than 5 years, at least give me the chance to
yeah.
allows 2 years or a year to come so that I can bring them later on. But it really happened to people, and now people are becoming
Yeah,
sensible
yeah.
on that
That's
tangent. Okay, good, good. So, do they
uh
take driver's license?
yes, they take driver's license.
Mhm.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, my driver's license had expired, so
And
right.
why would they need driver's license? I want you to clarify that part.
Okay,
Why
so
would faces need
basically
that?
we don't have buses in South Carolina. We don't have moving buses which will take you to work, will take you to marketplaces to buy your things.
Mhm.
So you need your driver's license before you move to United States. You need to get a Ghana's driver's license so that when you move here, the process will be easy for you to get a South Carolina driver's license
Okay.
without you getting a driver's license or you knowing how to drive.
Okay.
Uh, yeah,
I will add something small to that. So, as you said, public busing system isn't so reliable here in South Carolina, even in the southern states of the U.S. Most of,
yeah,
apart from New York and Boston that I know of. So it is very, very sensible to bring your local driver's license when you're coming. We don't need the international driver's license, just your hard card, the permanent driver's license, not the temporary one, what we call cover note in Ghana. We want the hard card, the printed hard card. And for faces, your driving experience should be more than 1 year. So I always advise people that if you call yourself a graduate, an intellectual, these are the two things you should always apply for, even if you don't have the intentions to travel: a passport and a driving license. If you have these two things, something like that, when it comes, you will sail through. So they need at least more. Okay, they will need more than 1 year driving experience. So you
more than
need to
one
get a
year.
driving license. And if you enter the US, you are allowed to drive with that Ghanaian driver license, Nigerian driver license, your Togo driver license. You can drive with that for 3 months.
Yeah,
It's legal, it's not illegal. You can drive with that license for 3 months before you can decide to go for a state driver license in the US. So bring that license. Don't leave it at home. If it's a temporary one, they don't accept it. So driver license is part. Mr. Emmanuel, what again?
And
The requirements.
the requirements, you'll be interviewed
Mm-hmm.
by the agency. Like Faces did interview me, and they will give you lists of things to do. What do they call it? Is it self interview? Yeah.
Okay.
You record a video, you record yourself answering those questions which Faces or the agency gives you. Then you will post to them. Some of them you need to teach in the video. Some of them, like mine, I think I gave how to tell a story, how to read a storybook,
Wow.
and yeah, how to read a storybook to kids, and all those are googled, and I chewed everything in my head, chew and pull. Yeah, chewed everything in my head. So whilst I was looking in the camera, everything was like this. Everything was playing in my head, and I sent it.
Okay.
So yeah, basically that's what I record.
I like the part that you said you Google. So I think Ghanaian teachers, I don't know about the other African countries. For Ghanaian teachers, I think we should be a little bit serious with certain things.
Mm-hmm.
We cry so much when you're buying data, internet data.
Mm-hmm.
If you really want to come on this program, don't ever run out of data on your phones.
Yeah.
And you should be always researching. During my time, when I got to hear about this, I'm a person who loves to research a lot because I don't want nobody to, take my money with the aim of doing something for me. So I research a lot. And if I should tell you the amount of data I bought every month, you'll be surprised. I think 2022, I was buying like 400. MTN had this 350 gig data that they sold. So I bought the whole thing for a month. It was 400 cedis by then. So I buy the whole thing and I research a lot. So when you are being prepared for this adventure, make sure you research. The other time I was sharing with people that you should make use of ChatGPT. So what ChatGPT does is an AI platform where any question that you have, you can just input it there and it will get you answers. And you can customize the answers to your specification. So during my time, I type, I am an art teacher. How do you answer these questions? Then I typed some of the interview questions in there and it gave me answers to it. Then I started, shaking the feedback that it gave. And it was so easy. So make good use of internet and technology. ChatGPT. If you can't use ChatGPT, your WhatsApp, now WhatsApp has AI embedded in it. It is this bluish round ring in WhatsApp. Just input the question. The AI platform on WhatsApp can answer all that. So he said you can Google. Always make use of that because
Yeah.
teaching in the US is quite different from teaching in your home country. And the internet can save you on that regard. So always research how to answer questions, how to manage your classroom, how to teach, how to do demonstrate, how to do self-interview and all that. Just as you said, you should always do that. I don't know if you have something else you can add to
Yeah.
that part.
You've said it all. There is nothing new on earth. Whatever you want to do, someone has already done it. So just look for ways you can find it and turn it, coil it, and make it your own to use it.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. And to add up to the requirement, reference or recommendation letters, they take 3.
Yeah.
So one from your principal, what we call headmaster in Ghana, or and another supervisor. It could be your assistant principal or HOD, and the last is your colleague. So these 3 recommendations, these letters are going to attest for you when the principal wants to recruit you. It is a major requirement as well, just like the credential evaluation. So you need these 3. So if you haven't prepared for that, prepare on that as well. Go to ChatGPT, just type, you are an art teacher, you are a math teacher, prepare a recommendation letter for me. It will prepare for you. You give to your headmaster, then he or she endorses. It is that simple. So I don't know what you're waiting for. Invest so much time into this, and it's not that difficult. That difficult. You won't pay so much money to someone to do it for you.
Yeah.
So that is it. And what again? But you should be truthful about what the things that you do. So if you want to like have a defense for it, if you want to say someone is your headmaster, have a very good
Yeah.
alibi for it. Else, so
If they are
mhm.
called, yeah.
I know
Because
faces have started contacting referees when you use someone's email address as your referee or your reference. They are going to contact the person for the person to do a little survey about you, and always make sure anybody that you use as a reference or a referee do not have any issue with that person, because they can tarnish your reputation in this process. Let's say, as Mr. Sampene was saying, he had some friction between his headmaster and him. So if he had mistakenly used his headmaster as a referee, you know what could have happened?
the fact is,
So
I did and changed it later. Later, I changed it. Yeah, it was on. I think Goli texted and he sent an email and told me,
mhm.
why did you change your reference? And I said, I switched schools. So, and they were okay.
Wow. Okay. So make sure you are cool with anybody that you're using as a referee,
Yeah.
else you are doomed.
Yeah.
They the agencies use it a lot. They use the recommendation letters or the reference letters a lot. So make sure the person spice it up. Put a lot of good reputation about you. You should your recommendation letter should speak very good of you. So that
Yeah.
is it. So I think Mr. Somebody has finished with all the requirements: passport, a valid passport, driver's
Mm-hmm.
license, recommendation letters, credential evaluation, right? And what
Yeah.
again? And experience verification for faces.
Yeah.
Experience verification. So if you can explain to us what experience verification is.
So I think experience verification, initially we had it wrong. We thought it was
Mhm.
the time you started schooling, or like the time you started to teach, like
Teaching.
7 years. But
Mhm.
phases started from, I think, the year you completed school.
Good, good,
Yeah.
good.
So you showed them and they said, no, the year you completed. So I completed, I think, 2014. They said, I can start my experience from the year I completed school. So right
Okay,
from 2014, that is
okay,
where my experience started from. Yeah. So if
okay.
you can add more.
So a little bit about the experience verification. When you're applying to phases, you have this section that you're going to download this PDF document. It's called experience verification, and it is a way of assisting you attain a South Carolina teaching certificate. So it is one of the requirements to get yourself certified in South Carolina. And as he said, it starts from when you attain your bachelor's degree.
Yeah.
They use that to calculate your teaching experience, so that when you are being paid, they will, when you come to the US, your teaching experience will be adjusted accordingly to your salary.
Mhm.
So they have a starting salary. Let's say it is $3, and after they have evaluated your experience verification, they found out that you've taught for 7 years, as Mr. Sampani said. Now you'll be paid according to the 7 years that you have taught in general, and they will count from the very year that you concluded or you completed your bachelor's degree. Anything under bachelor's degree is not counted.
Yeah.
So that is how the salary is calculated in South Carolina. So that is another thing. So make sure you know when you completed your bachelor's degree, and don't go and fight anybody. Anything below bachelor's degree, you won't be paid for. The minimum is bachelor's degree. So if you taught 11 years after your bachelor's degree, you'll be paid 11 years teaching experience.
Yeah.
So that is it. Any add up on that, or we're good on that?
I think that is all. Yeah. For
Mhm.
that is all.
Great, great. So the next question is, now you've had your principal interview, and do you remember when you went for your visa interview?
Yeah. Yeah, I do remember,
How was it?
that was something. Initially we couldn't get dates.
Mm-hmm.
We were three. Faces connected me to two ladies, I think Doris and Benedicta. So we couldn't get there, so we booked it in Benin. Was it Benin? I think so. Yeah, yeah. We
Wow.
were ready. We were ready to go to Benin. Yeah, we had a date in Benin,
Wow.
and I think it was like
And
4 days or so.
okay.
When we were about to go, then we had a date. I had a date first, and I saw like 4 more dates, and quickly I called them. I called them and fixed them all on the same day. Yeah,
Oh, good.
yeah.
Good.
God
Good.
being so good, we didn't go to Benin.
Okay. I know I may not be an immigration attorney, but this issue is going on in Ghana. So in Ghana and Nigeria, there is there is a struggle on interview dates. So people are saying that in Ghana, if you want a visa interview to be scheduled, you'll be going to 2025, 2026.
Mhm.
Please take note, non-immigrant visa is different from immigrant visa. I
Yeah,
repeat, non-immigrant visa is different from immigrant visa. When the B visas, when the green card visas are not getting date, J1 visas is different.
yeah,
It is totally different. So if you open the portal, you had the first date, let's say 14th August. Don't worry, you have two options to get another date closer to your deadlines. So what the first thing you can do is always be monitoring, especially if you're in
yeah,
Ghana. It happens around 1 a.m. downwards,
yeah,
around the dawn area. You can get date easily. And apart from that, you can also get a document from your school district that you have gotten an appointment or a job offer. Get a document from them that states that you are needed in the states in said date
yeah,
prior to the date that you had on the interview platform or portal. When you tender in this document, they can give you an expedited date and you can be here quickly. So don't need to go to Togo, don't need to go to
oh,
Benin,
yeah.
Liberia.
No,
Ours is
it's good.
different.
It's good. We now have a channel like this to educate us
Good,
on those
good,
things. So it's
good.
good. You are doing a very
So
great job. We,
there is date for non-immigrant visas. Don't let
yeah,
anybody deceive you and take your
yeah,
money. There is
hmm,
date. So just keep on searching and make sure not to click on the cancel schedule dates. If
yeah.
you have only two options, if you misuse these two options, you're going to pay another money for your
Another
visa interview.
185. Yeah,
So make sure you preserve your lifelines. Okay, there is date in Nigeria, there is date in Ghana, there is date in any African country, provided it's a
hmm,
non-immigrant visa because ours is
yeah,
different. You are
yeah.
coming with a job. For the students F visa, it is different, but J1 visa, J2 visa, ours is different. Date
Sure.
is easy to get. Okay, good. Now, what was the date you got for the interview?
Oh, I do. Truly, I don't really remember now.
Okay, good.
But
And
yeah.
do you remember what happened at the interview at the
Yeah,
consulate?
when we were
Mm-hmm.
about to go, people were telling us, we will gather outside the
Mm-hmm.
embassy. So people will tell you when you go inside, don't talk to each other, for the cameras are watching you, bro. People outside will instill fear in you even before you
Oh.
get there. Don't listen to anybody. Don't talk to each other. So I was going with Doris and Benedicta, and in the line they called us. I think we were there 7:30 or 8:30. They called us and we were in line, and we behaved like we've never seen each other before. She was behind, and when you enter the embassy, there is a shed where you will sit at first before
Mm-hmm.
they call you in the room. So when we entered and we had a shed, she was sitting right by my side, and I was stiff like this, bro. I was stiff. So okay, let's go. So they called us in line. We went inside in line. They were bouncing people here and there. You see somebody with tears. So, hey, God, wow. Some people will come and you see their face, and once the interview is going, you hear everything. You hear everything. Some people go, you can hear this guy is lying. I remember I heard somebody saying, was it Eastern Regional Minister is the uncle. He proved.
Hey,
The person was showing something. Was he F1? I think it was an F1, and he got approved. Oh yeah. So most people, the day we went, most people didn't get the visa. Mostly, most people didn't get it. So we were scared. Truly, we were scared. When I went there, this man was smiling. I was smiling. He asked me, which school did you attend? I mentioned my school. He asked me are you married? He asked me some questions about my years of experience. Yeah, not everything was, I think basically everything was on the internet. So every question he asked, I've already rehearsed. And it wasn't the false. I was telling him the truth because I've gone to school and have that experience. And what most people feel is your composure and how you act. Some of in Ghana, when most of us are talking with adults, we turn our eyes to a different direction to show respect or so. But there, I think if you don't give them the eyeball to eyeball, they think you're lying. So I learned that from Google to and YouTube. So I gave him clear eyeball fix. Yeah, so that is it. Every question they will ask is in your DS, which you failed. Every question you ask is in the DS 160 and DS 2019. So they will not ask you any question aside what you have given them because they know nothing about you. Yeah.
that is very, very true. So the two documents that they rely mostly on is the DS 160 and the DS 2019.
Yeah.
Anything that you input there should be the same thing that you say at the interview process. Don't lie, don't misconstrue, don't say something else that you haven't put in there.
Yeah.
So they, as you are talking, they are just chatting on that. Do not lie. And if anything should go off board from what you entered in the system, I think even the need for the interview is needless, because if you say you have taught for 10 years and you are being called to defend that you have taught for 10 years, where lies the tension in your body? Where lies the pressure in your body? You said, come and prove, tell us that you have taught, and you
Yeah.
are fumbling. I think the only thing that is quite skeptical or tricky is when you are asked to teach. I know of a friend who said he teaches math, and there the counselor asked, okay, so what topic are you teaching right now at school? And he mentioned geometry. Also, good. And how has it been so far? So the guy was able to teach within 2 minutes. So if you pronounce or if you profess that you are a math teacher, why are you going to shiver? Why are you going to shake? Convince the counselor.
Yeah.
I'm teaching integers. Oh, okay. The integers is a nice topic. So in real life, this is what integers does. Convince the counselor. If you are asked, how do you control your classroom, a misbehaving classroom, you pass your principal interview, so you should be able to tell them that. Do not
Yeah.
say. It is that simple. Rehearse. Okay, I'll ask this question. Uh, are you that religious?
Oh yeah. I
Okay.
am.
And how would you put, or where would you put faith, favor, or grace in the interview process? The reason why I'm asking is I've been to the US embassy where people are broscoto, people are praying and all that. Where or how does faith, favor, grace play in the interview process?
One, if you are religious, you are truthful. Yeah. So if you have prepared, you pray. If you have not prepared and you pray, nothing will work. Even though if you are religious, if you are what. And the documents you are presenting, if they are not genuine and you still pray, you can go. whatever oil you have. Do you think those people there, they are just there? They also have their places they go. They also pray.
Yeah.
Yes. I've heard of people going everywhere and anywhere just to attain favor or just to change the mind of the consulars. I
Of
can
the
tell you,
consular.
you don't know where they are also coming from. Yes, they are also coming from somewhere you even higher than where you are calling. Yeah, so favor is favor when you plan well and you prepare to face them. Yes, and
Okay,
faith,
good.
you can't go there and I declare by faith. You can't stand there and say, oh, they bounce you and say, I declare by faith. You've not bounced me. No, prepare and face them. And with
Yeah.
J1, I think there was one guy in our time who was rejected and
Was denied. I was going to ask that.
who was denied, and it was his own problem. I think he came from Kumasi, so he came with a wife, and he was advised to come alone. When you come later, I can go for your wife. So he went to the interview with the wife, and
Good, good,
he wasn't
good,
asked any question.
good.
He personally wasn't asked any question. The wife was asked the question. They went together to the council, and the wife was asked, what work do you do? She said she's a trader. What do you sell? That's all. She couldn't talk again. She couldn't answer. Nothing came out from her mouth. That is what they bounced her.
Wow.
He denied them.
Good, 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 good. And just a small add-on. For this program, if you read some of the rules governing this program, we call something home ties.
Mhm.
Home tie. Home ties basically means something that will draw you back to your home country, because this is a non-immigrant visa that you're going to get. And after the 3 to 5 years, you are supposed to come home. It is called the 212E rule. It means after your 5 years, you're supposed to go back to your home country, serve at least 2 years, and reapply to the program. So if you go to the interview with your spouse, your wife, it means you are planning to, uproot your whole family from your
Yeah,
home country and
relocate.
go. And there
Mhm.
and there, I can assure you might be denied.
Yeah.
So that's the reason why most of the agencies advise you come first, settle down at least for 3 months, and bring your
Mhm.
spouse and family. So that is it. The 212 home rule is very enforced. When you are
Yeah.
asked at the interview, do you know about this rule? Say yes, yes. It is a
Yeah.
non-immigrant visa, and you're supposed to go back to your country after the 3 to 5 years. So note that, and go alone
Yeah.
first, get a visa,
Mhm.
and as he was saying, he only know one person who has been denied so far.
Yeah.
I think recently I've heard about 3 Ghanaians who were denied. Mhm.
Oh.
Yes, the denial rate is coming up. At first, I used to tell people that the visa is 10% assured. The
Yeah.
10 is 90% assured,
Mhm.
and the 10% is from your house if you
Yeah.
pay. But of late, people are under preparing, so they are being denied. So also prepare massively for this interview.
Yeah.
Okay, go.
And
Any
it's
other
more of
thing to add on that
it's
part?
more just as I said, it's more of your facial expression.
Mm-hmm.
Like if they will pass, if they will give you the visa, it's more of your facial expression. It tells them everything, everything. Like 99.99% of denial is the facial expression. So just go there, be confident. Since you are not faking any documents, I don't know why we will go there and panic. You are a teacher, hey, here you've taught for many years, and you are going there and they ask you, are you a teacher? And you're fumbling. No, no. So
Okay.
yeah, the facial.
Me mama charge an insim na.
Yeah.
Okay.
For networking is an if more.
Let me feed I drop your say.
Uh,
When your visa was approved, what was the feeling?
you were excited, but uh, until your foot
Feeling.
touches United States, you still feel something, or still feel some way. So I was excited, but
What do you mean, can?
yeah,
Okay, good. So just repeat what you said. How was the feeling when you were approved of your visa?
yeah, I was excited, but until your feet touches United States, you will not really be relieved. Yes, yes, like you will be excited, but it still feels like there is a burden on you. So I was
Mm-hmm.
okay the moment my foot touched Colombia, and I said, "Oh yeah, I feel Madu, I've reached." Yeah, that is how I knew I was relieved. Everything is now okay, because some
Good.
people still told us
All right.
even they can
And
they will interview you at the airport. They will still ask you the same questions. If you don't answer them well, they will bring you back. So, bro, after still getting it, there was a little panic. Yeah.
okay. And do you remember when you left Ghana and when you touched down in Colombia?
No, I truly don't remember. I think it was around July. We left July, and I touched here on 13th. Let me say, yeah, 13th of July or so.
Hello?
Yeah, do you hear me? Your network? Your network.
Hello?
Yeah. Ekulu Pound.
Hello, Yema. What's your name?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, okay. After the okay, good. Do you remember when you touched the shores of US? When you left Ghana, when you touched the shores of US? Do you remember that?
I think it was in July, middle of July or like 20th thereabout. I don't really remember. Yeah, around 20th thereabout. That is when we arrived in Colombia. Yeah, we were excited, you know. I came with Doris and Benedicta. Yeah. You know,
Okay.
and
And
when we got
like
here,
experience when
uh,
you first bought the plane. Did you have any traveling experience?
no, that was my first time. First time seeing an airplane, first time boarding an airplane, and first time going to United States. Was a big experience, you know.
Simple.
Yeah.
Simple. That was good. Very big experience.
Yeah.
I also
Yeah.
had no traveling experience, so it was so wonderful, very wonderful. And when you landed, what was the experience? What did you say? What did you see?
For when I landed, let me just recall. When I landed, I just gave my cross, you know. Told you I'm religious. That was the cross. Yeah. Give my cross, then I thank God I've arrived, you know. I was excited, you know, we were jumping all over, excited. Yeah, you do. You have reached, yeah.
Wow, wow.
Yeah, you like it's natural, you know. Yeah, although we were tired, but we were still excited. Although we have not arrived at our final destination, but we were overexcited. We were joyful. Yeah.
Okay, okay, all right. So now, in general, how was the environment in US like? And I know it came to your mind how you perceive the US, relating it to your home country.
Okay.
When you
I
compared
talking
your home country in the US, at that spot, when you went out into the city, how was your feeling? Like for mine,
uh
when I got out, I had this perception that the US is so beautiful. It has no potholes, it has no filth. Every place is like heaven and all that. But when I entered into the city and I saw potholes, I saw filth, oh, I
Yeah.
was really disappointed. How was yours?
Mine was even in the air when we were about to land. I saw trees, too many trees.
Wow.
What? This is this United States? There were too many trees, and I saw buildings in the midst of like one building in like in a forest area. Are we sure we are in United States? Yeah. So even though I later found out that I was in United States, but how I perceived it wasn't how I really experienced it. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. It was overhyped. Oh, but it's
Truly.
if
Yeah,
it was
it's
really
and
really
the parts
overhyped.
we see, they don't show us these parts. They don't show us these
Yeah.
parts in movies, the celebrities, and you know the Trinity Jonas will show you just some parts of New York City, some parts, but they will not show you these parts where even there are
Oh,
stagnant
good.
waters, somewhere there are forest areas where there are just settlements. Let me call them settlements, just like we have in some parts of our country. So it's not anything unique, anything big.
Okay.
Where, yeah. Then my shock was when we were living in wood houses, not blocks. You, when most, when most like 98% of the houses are wood structures and not
All wood.
blocks, and like even the 2% or 3% were made of bricks. Yeah, so I said, I wish you're even in our hometown, we call this kiosk because people, yeah, you find this in there's a store. Yeah, so it's not anything extraordinary, not anything extraordinary. You're not coming to live in the skies, Even way back in Ghana, some people told me they have a different sky. They can turn it blue. They can turn it to red anytime. They breathe different air, oxygen. They press something and the oxygen will come in the atmosphere. They can get some stars anytime. They have a different, oh, bro. Relax. In our adage, we say "Uti pupu will be
Oh, obidi. So okay, I think this is the most important part of the interview. Now let's talk about accommodation,
Right.
transportation. These two things are the headache of many teachers. So how did you get yourself an accommodation, and how do you get yourself transportation?
All right. So even before we came, our agency Faces gave us angels. The angels or Faces connected me to one lady who was in my school district, and Faces termed them angels. They will help us get an accommodation. So she linked me to one Kenyan guy, Awele, and God being so good, he accepted to live with me, and even he didn't charge me nothing. He told me when my salary comes, I start paying the rent from there. So that is how I got an accommodation.
And what about transportation?
And in transportation, he took me to school.
Wow.
He took me to school before I got transportation.
I think accommodation is one of the most expensive things to secure when you come to the US. And if you share an apartment with someone, I think the prices come down a bit for you to be relieved. So always find teachers who are already in the states, or teachers you are coming on the same program with, and share apartment with. And for cars, if you don't have so much money, you can just look on Facebook Market. We have individuals over there who are selling their cars for cheaper price, budget like 2,000, 3,000, and you can get yourself an older used car, and it can commute you from point A to point B. Now we are getting closer to the ending of this interview. I'm going to ask about your cultural shock in the classroom. The cultural shock in the classroom.
All
So,
right. So what shocked me most was a child telling me I sleep in a trash can. Seriously, child told me whilst I was teaching, I heard memories from back there. You sleep in a trash can. Wow. And that day I was in a tie, Ghanaian tie kente with tie with white top and nice trousers, and this, yeah, still had to call me that. And the class, ooh, she said the teacher sleeps in the trash can. Ooh, bro, I was standing in front of the class. Yeah. So yeah, it was a shock, but through it all, we've made it. It was a
yeah.
huge shock. And it's quite an opposite. Like our kids in Africa and kids here, their confidence level is very high. They can tell you anything they want, anywhere, whatever they want. Yeah. And once I had one of them writing my name in their restroom mirrors. They call me Mr. A, so I had my name, Mr. E, Black, something, FU, a black donkey, the donkey, the black ASS. Yeah. And he said, Mr. E, come and look. Somebody wrote, and the whole grade hall, everybody, the teachers call the principal, do something about it. But truly, they can't do nothing about it.
Nothing can they do.
Yeah, they can do nothing about it. So you just contain it, make what you want to make, put your vision in place, and then you move. So it's a huge difference. You know that you're coming on a different level or a different culture altogether. That's their culture. So you accept it and live with it.
So comparatively, if you relate classroom management to content. Which one should a teacher prepare himself so well before he comes? Classroom
Now,
management and content. Which one should I prepare myself massively?
you should be preparing 100% for classroom management. Nothing of content, because African teachers, we know our content, and whatever you teach in, that's what you're coming to teach in. Even here, it's easy.
Very easy.
Very easy
Very
to teach
easy.
in. Yes, and they have everything provided. They've provided everything for you. You have your smart board, everything in PowerPoint. You sit down, you prepare PowerPoint. Everything is given to you. So the content is not a problem, but classroom management, and I call it a day survivor. How to survive the day is like a year in a classroom. Seriously. When you move in, they will tell you, do this, set your rules, set your procedures. I can tell you, bro, you
It
just,
won't work.
yo, nothing. You will set it, stand your grounds. And I realize that it's the way we talk. They think
Accent.
we are inferior or something, because once I was teaching Pentagon, and that was my first, it was a month. Yes, I was in for a month, and I was teaching polygons, and I taught Pentagon, and I said, oh, even you have a building in the United States which has this name, Pentagon, and a five-sided, and I had somebody telling me, no, eight-sided figure is Pentagon. And the whole class believed this boy. So I kept quiet. I didn't even talk again. So I continued my lesson. Later in the day, I Googled it on my phone. I Googled five-sided figure, and it was on. And I said, class, keep quiet. Let's listen to this guy. I gave the phone to him to read. And he was reading. He said, five-sided polygon is called Pentagon. Then, yeah, Mr. E is smart. Yeah, Mr. E is So I found out that it's the way we talk. They think since he can't really speak like us, it's not like. But time goes forth. I think you should be okay with that. Yeah.
Okay, so I think the main aim for this program is to exchange culture, and accent is part of culture. So I think we should be able to compose ourselves. The composure is the most important thing.
Yeah.
Because no way, if you are the smartest person in Ghana, if you speak the best English or whatever, immediately you get to this classroom, it's a new turf. On your first day, oh, you'll be surprised. You will be surprised. Your English isn't going to save you, because definitely there's going to be a disparity in the accent. So always keep your calm. It's going to be well. Just tell yourself that, motivate yourself, because it's not easy.
Yeah.
It's a day survivor, as you just said.
Yeah.
Even to survive one day in that classroom, and on that first day, it's like a gladiator standing in a fighting arena.
Yeah.
They will tear you apart, seriously. But just try and learn some of the classroom management skills. Try and implement. I know most of the time it doesn't work, but theoretically they want you to implement it.
Yeah.
Just keep your calm. If you think you're going to be depressed, talk to other experienced teachers. If you're a Ghanaian and you think having a Nigerian mentor isn't helping, reach out to some Ghanaian teachers like Mr. Emmanuel, me, Mr. O, some other teachers who are here in the state. They can motivate, because it's not easy to stay here even for a year or two. It's not easy. It's not easy. So if you have just landed in the US, I'm assuring you what you are going to face from 1st August is not a thing to be played with. Seriously. If it was that easy, this program wouldn't have existed for international teachers to come and teach, because the citizens don't want it. They don't want to teach. It's not about the salary. The citizens don't want to teach. So the US government is using this cultural exchange program to at least fill the
gap
in their classroom. So that is a good thing. So motivate yourself and stay. Now, let's get to this other part. So, in terms of educational facilities, teaching and learning materials, compare Ghana classroom and US classroom. What is so different? And compare our curriculums, two curriculums. What can you say about that?
All right. Comparatively, there is everything here. And if I say everything in United States will give you everything to help you teach. Like when we got here, they gave us laptop, which everything is already installed. We have our smart boards, which aids us in teaching. In the curriculum, we have school coaches. We have coaches in our schools who will help us understand the standards they've given us, the state standards they've given us. So everything is easy in here. And our classroom doors are also closed. Where I was teaching in Achima Chance where I was, there were no windows, There were no windows. Even the roofs, they've not sealed it, Yeah, they've not sealed anywhere. So if you want to compare, my board was black. I used chalk. Yeah, I used chalk. So basically everything is here. And here the kids have their Chromebooks. You can set assignments online for them to do it. In Ghana, everything is mark paper, pen, mark paper. But here I can set everything on, let's say, Quizzes. They'll do it, mark it. I just put in my grade book. So they've made their system very easy.
Yeah.
Very, very easy here for teaching and learning. And whatever you need, and those coming in, if you're a new teacher and you're in, ask questions. Ask anything you don't understand. Don't feel like you're a Ghanaian. No. Like they will think you don't know. Ask them, because they themselves, they don't know everything. Make sure you every little question. That's what they want. And that if you don't ask and you get things wrong, they will blame you. But if you ask and you still get it wrong, they will know you asked. You are still in the process of understanding what you asked. Yeah.
Good. I think what I'll add to this is when I came, because of the accent gap, there were things that my administrators were saying. Sometimes I don't hear, but I'll say yes. But instead of me asking for clarification, I pretended I've understood. And sometimes you can imagine someone telling you that you are a fool, and you say, "Oh yes." If you pretend to be all knowing, I think something like that can happen to you. Someone tried to insult you, and you said, "Okay, yes, I understand." Like, ask for clarification.
Yeah. And they like using abbreviations: MTSS, YDHD,
Ask
YCCD.
for clarification. Yeah.
Well, when I came, my principal was walking me down the school, and we saw one woman. She said, "Oh, this is the MTSS." I was like, okay. No, she is the coach of the coaches. She coaches the coaches. So I really needed her service. I didn't ask nothing. So it's good to ask. Make sure you ask every question in your workshops. Raise up your hand, ask somebody, what did he say? Pardon. Most of the time, I ask them, what did you say? They will say, Mr. E, we know you didn't understand. They will explain it. Yeah, they will take their time to explain. They understand you. When it comes to content, you're on top. But these gaps you need to fill these gaps. Yeah.
Because it's entirely different. Let me chip in this funny thing. So I wore a sneaker to school, which was very colorful. And what these kids love so much is Nike sneakers and Air Force and all that. So when they saw me wearing one, and one of the kids said, "Mr. Aubrey, your legs are hard." And prior to that, they have stressed me so much. So I was very furious and angry. So when he said, your shoelaces are hard, I thought he was insulting me. So I got angry at that spot. Bro, common English to what? English. So I got angry, and they later explained that, oh, we meant your shoes are very nice. So ask, and they have different jargons. They have different slangs and jargons that always ask them. It will help you, because there are certain words that may be derogatory or insulting when you pronounce it in public. But if you ask them, what does this mean? You save yourself the hassle next time if you do that in public. So do ask. All right. And what can you say about the curriculum? Is what Ghana learning so good or better than what the US students are learning, or are we at par? Are theirs below us or what? Compare the Ghanaian curriculum and the US curriculum.
Okay, I've taught just fourth grade in here.
Mm-hmm.
Just the fourth grade curriculum, I would say it's quite similar, but different approaches,
Yeah.
different pedagogies in getting a solution. Like the math curriculum, like this, they'll teach you, or they'll give you many methods, many. Like division, you have like 5 methods in dividing by your country. I remember I had like 2, but here many. We have different methods which the kids can choose for. So for me, I think it is not about the curriculum, but it's about how we teach it. It is about how the pedagogies or the methods. The methods which is used in teaching it. Yes, the
Okay.
method we use in teaching it. Because in Ghana, it's more of chew and pour. It's more of 1 + 1 is 2. It's more
Okay.
of okay, let's use group method where you pick maybe oranges. That's all. But here they have different methods. So with the curriculum, I would say they are quite similar. But the United States they've added some just petty things to spice them, yes, up so that when
Okay.
the kids grow, even if they don't use what they are taught in school, they will get something aside what is taught in school. So their curriculum is arranged in a way which will help you in a long run.
Yeah.
And I think
Long
now,
life
Ghana,
learning.
I like our curriculum in our country. I like Ghanaian curriculum, but I saw that it lacked certain things, certain ingredients too. Yeah,
Okay.
that's what I would say.
I think they factor more on the individual learning differences.
Yeah.
Yeah, they know some people are auditory learners, some people are slow learners, and all that. So they give you several approaches so that every partaker in the class can get their appropriate share of the content. Okay, so for me, I think what I've realized here is they have all the teaching and learning materials to facilitate
Mm-hmm.
a successful learning and teaching. And our kids back home are intrinsically motivated because we know education is one of the exit ways to moving from the poverty line in Africa.
Yeah.
So if you go to school, we think going to school can make you richer. And
Mm-hmm.
these kids, I know people who completed only high school. They never went to college, but they got themselves some job at the Walmart,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
McDonald's, and all that. So they don't put so much premium on education. They don't
Yeah.
push so much. But
That's
there
true.
are some few people in our classroom whose parents are intellectuals, are degree holders, are master's holders, who take their studies serious. So as compared to Ghana, I think the kids are more serious and
Yeah.
geared towards the books than these
Mm-hmm.
kids because the exposure over here and the noises. I mean, intellectual noises,
Yeah.
social media,
Mm-hmm.
parties, and even how parents bring their cater for their kids also have an impact on how the
Yeah.
kids
Yeah.
learn in the classroom. So that is a major difference, and
Yeah.
they are prepared for a holistic living
Mm-hmm.
in the future
Yeah.
because I have seen a curriculum in my school where the kids are being taught cluster of jobs.
Mm-hmm.
They let you know entrepreneurship at middle school. I was really
Mm-hmm.
surprised. Entrepreneurs, they were teaching them entrepreneurship. Oh, I was wow. And they
Yeah.
teach them how to write checks, how to read financial statements, and all that in school. I was really surprised. So
Yeah.
these are certain things I think Ghana Education Service can, uh, combine into our curriculum, and it will help our kids back home. Okay, now to the ending part of the interview, uh, is it worth it? Is it worth it to come on this trip?
That it's worth it. You know, I'm learning different culture, and I now have different approaches to solving some math problems, and yeah, it's worth it. And you know, as I told you, my 2 weeks salary was more than 5 months salary in Ghana. I told you initially, so it is worth it. And now I know I am more experienced in teaching, not only in Ghana. Even I said not only in Ghana, like I'm a local champion in Ghana, but now I can feel like I'm becoming an international champion.
Experience, yeah.
Yeah, so it's worth it. It's worth it.
Okay. So let's touch on salary. I know almost all the districts in the U.S. Display salaries on their websites.
Yeah.
And if you have taught for 5 years, you know how much you're going to get when you come in here. Mm-hmm. Can you give us an estimate of how much you earn monthly?
I think from 3,000 to 5,000, let's say. Yeah.
Okay. And how much of it do you use to pay accommodation? We just want to know how.
Yeah. Let me. So with accommodation, I pay 600.
Okay.
I live in 3 bedroom, 2 halls. Yeah, mine is better than Colombia. I know you can see. Yeah, 600. I pay 600 a month.
Wait. Which part of South Carolina do you live?
I am in Kingstree, Williamsburg County, and I moved from the township to a settlement which is called Lane, Lane. Okay. So in Lane, the houses are cheaper than even Kingstree where I teach. Have you seen it?
Wow.
So I moved like 15 minutes to work.
15 minutes.
15 minutes. So I moved from the town for the time. I think recently some Ghanaians came and I was looking for an apartment for them. I think I found some 2-bedroom apartments, 750. One was 4-bedroom, 950. Yeah. I know how you're feeling because Colombia is different. Our side, our things are cheap because of our salary is also low.
Oh no, I'm in Richland 1. Our salary is one of the lowest in South Carolina, but I'm paying like if I'm supposed to go for a 1-bedroom apartment in this apartment complex, you're going to pay like 1,000, 1,001. And I take home 3,000. I think, including my teaching experience, my net is 3,400. And you can imagine taking like 1,100 salary, and you are paying 600.
I pay 600 a month.
Wow. And how much do you pay for internet?
So my internet is 29. I pay 29 for it. Yeah. 29. I pay this month. I'm paying my electricity bill is around 160.
Okay, quite fair. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and our water bill is fixed. I think $60 for water.
Okay.
Yeah.
So don't go into details. So, room, electricity, water, internet. Let's say what amount to 1,000, right?
Yeah, let's say because of my area and because of the house I live in, it's not a new house. Mm-hmm. It looks very old,
but it's an accommodation.
Yes, it's an accommodation. So I just want to tell your audience that when you're moving in here, don't think you're coming in to get a house of 600 US dollars. No, mine is different. The person was in a district office, and the person who connected me to her was our assistant principal. So he connected me to her and talked. Told them I'm from Africa and I don't really have money, and they manage something for me. So that's what I would say. So when you are coming in, it's like some people are renting 1,500.
1,500, yeah, I know. 1,500, yeah.
You live alone. I know a friend who his 2 week salary will just take it, pay rent, and yeah, I know, yeah, 2 week salary will come, we just pay rent, pay light bill, water bill, and we just give them out.
So I think it's so informative to watch certain stories from this page, because if you are able to cut down on these costs, I think you would earn more.
Mm-hmm.
If you are paying 1,500 from 3,000, and that's too much. That's too much. Oh, good. Good. So if you want to find the salary you're going to get, just go to the district that offered you the job offer. They have their salary scale listed
Mm-hmm.
on their website, and you can know if you have taught for 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, if you have a master's degree. So all these are some factors that they consider to, pay your salaries. Okay,
Yeah.
so that's it. Now, for the last one, what I want to say to the audience, any person watching you right now who's a teacher, who still doesn't believe that you can come to the US that easily, what is your advice for them?
All right. My advice is, bro, it is real. Real. When I got to Faces workshop, when we arrived, and they ran a workshop for us, when I saw the white lady, let me say white lady here, you can't say white lady, that's racist. When I saw Cindy, she said, "Come and touch me, I'm real." When I was, yeah, she said, "Come and touch me, Manuel. Come and touch me, I'm real." When we're doing the interview, it looked like someone wanted to scam me. You see,
Oh,
it didn't look real, because a white lady coming to pick me from Ghana, and then I'm not paying nothing. I am not paying flights. For flights, I'll come. They give me a very nice. They will give you a nice hotel, and the options in look like it's not real, but bro, it's real. You can make it to United States, and then you can share your culture, learn more, earn some cash. Yeah, yeah, and some cash. Let me emphasize that, and some cash. So, bro, Nimre, just get your phone. You have Android phone. Start googling. Everything is on this page. I've followed him for some time now, and he has given details, even things I forgot. He has, Miss Yawabre, you've given everything. If you follow him, everything, and you have questions, I've seen him answering questions in his YouTube channels. Every question you have, you ask him, you answer. So I urge you, don't give up. Some agencies will decline you. Go to another agency. Now I am receiving 2 Ghanaian teachers. One is from Cape Coast, one is from Techiman, and
wow.
yeah, I helped them get accommodation, and one Venezuelan guy. Because of the cost, I've made sure I'm getting them a house where can accommodate 3 of them, so that they can
Oh,
cut.
good, good,
And I've
good.
told them I'll put them to school every day until they
Wow.
get, yeah, it will help them ease in and settle down. So come on, brother, pick your phone, Google, get an agency, and come in, share your culture. After 5 years, you move back.
Okay,
Yeah.
so if you sat down to watch this video, this is an episode for the news from the other side, where we interview African teachers who are on the cultural exchange program. And recently, I'll be uploading videos on how to prepare yourself for the application window. Immediately from September, most of the agencies will be opening their application windows. So the requirements that we mentioned, I'll be taking you through step by step how to prepare your reference letters and everything. So I'll take you through step one, step two, step three, and I'll let you know most of the agencies that charges money and the others that do not charge money, and you apply to any number that you want to stand a lot of chance. So this is an episode from the usual series, News from the Other Side. And we thank Mr. Emmanuel Sampeni for, upon all his busy schedule, he apportioned a little bit of time to us to share his experience with my viewers. We thank you so much, and we appreciate the good things you are doing for the US. God bless you. And bye bye to everybody. And once again, if you want to share your experience too, I'll drop my number on the screen. Just send me a WhatsApp. I'll schedule an interview so that you can also share your story, your relocation story with the